Most people think the biggest money mistakes happen in a single moment, but the most expensive ones often happen quietly over years. They begin as small decisions that feel harmless, comfortable, and completely normal. The danger is that while these choices seem insignificant today, they can silently steal decades of wealth, freedom, and opportunity. Many people work hard their entire lives, yet never understand why financial security always feels just out of reach. Meanwhile, others with similar incomes gradually build extraordinary wealth through a different set of habits and decisions. The difference is rarely luck. It is usually found in a few costly mistakes that most people don't recognize until the price has become enormous. Buying a better life instead of building one. A young professional receives a promotion and immediately begins upgrading everything around him. A larger apartment replaces the old one. A newer car appears in the driveway. Expensive habits become part of everyday life. Nothing seems reckless on its own, yet together these choices create a financial trap. This is one of the most expensive money mistakes because it disguises itself as success. Many people assume that earning more money automatically creates wealth, but income and wealth are not the same thing. Income is what you earn. Wealth is what you keep, grow, and own. Imagine two people receiving the same raise every year. One uses the extra money to improve lifestyle. The other uses a large portion to acquire assets. For a few years, the difference is invisible. 10 years later, the gap becomes obvious. 20 years later, they are living completely different lives. One has built assets that generate opportunities and income. The other has built expenses that require constant maintenance. Society often rewards appearances while the marketplace rewards ownership. People notice luxury cars, expensive vacations, and designer brands. Few notice investment accounts, business equity, or growing assets quietly working in the background. Yet those invisible assets often determine future freedom. Human beings adapt quickly to comfort. What feels exciting today soon becomes normal. The dream car becomes transportation. The luxury apartment becomes an ordinary apartment. The thrill disappears, but the monthly payment remains. This creates a cycle where people continuously upgrade their lifestyle without ever feeling satisfied. The goalpost keeps moving. Income rises, but expenses rise faster. Wealth is not determined only by how much money enters your life. It is determined by how much freedom your money creates. The most expensive purchases are often not expensive because of their price. They are expensive because of what that money could have become if it had been invested. Every dollar spent has an invisible future attached to it. Most people only see today's cost. Wealthy people often see tomorrow's opportunity. Over time, this difference in thinking creates radically different outcomes. The price of standing still. There was a worker who spent years mastering a particular job. He became respected, dependable, and experienced. Then the industry changed. New technology emerged. New skills became valuable. Suddenly, experience alone was no longer enough. What shocked him most was not how quickly the world changed, but how little he had changed with it. This is another extremely expensive money mistake. Many people stop growing the moment they become comfortable. They learn enough to perform their current role and then remain there for years. The problem is that the marketplace rewards value, not comfort. Skills that are valuable today may become ordinary tomorrow. Industries evolve. Technology advances. Opportunities shift. Those who continue learning move forward with the changes. Those who stop learning often get left behind. The gap between successful people and struggling people is frequently a gap in growth rather than effort. Two individuals may earn the same income today, but if one spends the next 5 years developing new skills while the other remains unchanged, their futures immediately begin separating. At first, the difference is invisible. Then opportunities start appearing for one person and not the other. Promotions arrive, business opportunities emerge, new doors open. The person who committed to growth becomes increasingly valuable. Learning works much like investing. The benefits seem small at first, but they compound over time. A new skill connects with existing knowledge. Better knowledge improves decision-making. Better decisions create better opportunities. Eventually, growth begins producing results that appear almost unfair to outsiders. Yet those results are usually the product of years of invisible preparation. Many people spend countless hours consuming entertainment, but almost no time increasing their value. Then they wonder why their financial lives remain unchanged. The future belongs to those who remain adaptable. The world rewards people who solve problems, create value, and continue learning long after formal education has ended. Growth may feel uncomfortable, but stagnation is far more expensive. Every year spent refusing to improve yourself quietly reduces future opportunities. Every year spent developing yourself expands them. The marketplace rarely pays people for what they did yesterday. It pays them for the value they can create tomorrow. The cost of delaying ownership. A 25-year-old tells himself he will start investing when he earns more money. At 30, he decides to wait until life becomes less expensive. At 35, responsibilities increase. At 40, he finally begins taking wealth building seriously and wonders why financial freedom still feels so distant. What he failed to realize was that his greatest loss was never the money he didn't invest. It was the time he didn't give that money. One of the most expensive mistakes in life is delaying ownership. Most people understand the concept of compound growth, but very few appreciate its true power. Wealth rarely explodes overnight. In the beginning, progress feels painfully slow. Results seem small. The rewards appear insignificant. This is exactly why many people never start. Human beings naturally prefer immediate rewards over future rewards. We want visible progress now. Compounding operates differently. It rewards patience before it rewards effort. For years, growth may seem unimpressive. Then suddenly the curve begins to rise. Small gains create larger gains. Those gains begin creating gains of their own. Eventually, what once looked insignificant becomes extraordinary. Ownership changes the financial game because it allows money to work independently of your labor. Employees earn income through effort. Owners earn income through assets. This applies to businesses, investments, intellectual property, real estate, brands, and systems that continue creating value long after the original work is completed. Two people can earn the same salary for years and still end up with dramatically different outcomes. One spends most of what they earn. The other consistently converts part of that income into ownership. Over time, one remains dependent on future work, while the other gradually builds sources of income that operate beyond personal effort. The wealthy often think differently about money. They do not simply ask what money can buy. They ask what money can build. They view money as a worker that can be assigned a task and expected to produce results. Every asset acquired becomes a seed planted for the future. The tragedy is that many people spend years waiting for the perfect moment to begin. The perfect moment never arrives. There will always be bills, responsibilities, uncertainties, and excuses. Meanwhile, time continues moving forward. Money lost can sometimes be earned again. Time cannot. The person who starts imperfectly today often ends up far ahead of the person waiting for ideal conditions tomorrow. Wealth is frequently built not by dramatic financial decisions, but by consistently purchasing small pieces of the future before everyone else recognizes their value. Confusing activity with progress. One of the saddest financial stories is not about someone who failed. It is about someone who worked incredibly hard for years and still ended up disappointed. They woke up early, stayed busy, sacrificed weekends, and constantly felt exhausted. Yet their financial position barely improved. Meanwhile, Someone else worked fewer hours, but achieved far greater results. The difference was not effort. The difference was direction. This is one of the most expensive mistakes people make because activity often feels like progress. Being busy creates the illusion of achievement. Progress creates actual achievement. Many people spend years responding to problems instead of creating opportunities. They focus on urgent tasks while ignoring important ones. They become experts at staying occupied without ever asking whether their actions are moving them toward financial freedom. Imagine someone carrying buckets of water from a river every day. They become stronger, faster, and more efficient. Meanwhile, another person spends time building a pipeline. For a while, the bucket carrier appears more productive. Then one day, the pipeline begins delivering water automatically, while the other person is still carrying buckets. This is the difference between effort and leverage. The wealthy often focus on building systems, assets, and opportunities that multiply the value of their time. They understand that hard work matters, but hard work alone is rarely enough. The marketplace rewards value creation more than effort. A person can spend years climbing a ladder only to discover it was leaning against the wrong wall. That realization can cost decades. Not every task creates equal results. A small number of decisions often determine the majority of outcomes. The challenge is that high-value activities usually require patience, discipline, and long-term thinking. Low-value activities often provide immediate satisfaction. This is why so many people remain trapped in cycles of busyness. They mistake movement for momentum. They mistake effort for effectiveness. Financial success often comes from identifying the activities that create the greatest long-term impact and giving those activities disproportionate attention. The goal is not simply to work harder. The goal is to make each hour matter more. The frightening thing about these 4 mistakes is that none of them feel dangerous while they are happening. Buying a bigger lifestyle feels like success. Stopping personal growth feels comfortable. Delaying ownership feels reasonable. Staying busy feels productive. Yet years later, these choices reveal their true cost. Wealth is built quietly through decisions repeated consistently over time. The same force that compounds mistakes can also compound wisdom. Better habits create better opportunities. Better opportunities create better outcomes. Better outcomes create greater freedom. The future you experience 10 years from now is being shaped by the choices you make today. Protect your future before you can see it, because time is the one asset that never offers a refund. If you found value in this video, make sure to subscribe and join us for more insights on wealth, psychology, and financial freedom. Leave a comment below, sharing which of these 4 mistakes you believe is costing the most people their future. And if this message challenged the way you think about money, share it with someone who needs to hear it before the cost becomes too high.